Hi there, this is Jerry 3904 from the MX Linux forum. I'm here to present a new video for MX-Fluxbox. This opens a new series called Tips and Tricks. This is TNT number 1 with the title, Where's the Calendar? Before I get into that, let me quickly cover a little bit of development news in MX-Fluxbox. First, we had a set of backgrounds come through with a couple of new ones. Make sure you get to see those. They're really nice. I'll be showing one in a minute. Secondly, with a couple of new menu translations, one in Arabic and one in Brazilian Portuguese. If the menu isn't translated into your language, please do the work and send it to me so we can have it added. And thirdly, there's a new feature on MX iDeskTool which allows icons to be snapped to a grid the way XFCE does it in MX Linux normally, instead of dragging them around freely. That entry on the MX iDeskTool is called Set Icons to Snap, and it's worth looking at when you get a chance. So with that, I will get myself out of the way, and I'll see you in a second, and we'll get going. Okay, enough on the news. Let's turn to the calendar question we want to explore. To begin with, what's available for calendars to us? I'm going to act in a way that matches Fluxbox. Say I want something simple. I don't want to haul up a complicated conky. I mean, look at it all the time. I don't want to have to use Thunderbird and its calendar. I want a nice, simple, quick calendar. There is one available by default. Since this is based over XFCE, we can bring up that. It's called Orage, O-R-A-G-E. I hit F2 to bring up that little run dialog. And here's Orage. It's a very nice calendar and task list. If I double click the date, I get to see the events and such things, so it's very nice. It's a lot of people use it. The problem for the future is that Orage is based on GTK2, which was what the former XFCE is. The current version has moved to GTK3, and Orage is not being ported to GTK3. So it's unclear whether Orage will be available in the future to us, even on Fluxbox. But that's a very nice thing to think about. That's one way to go. A second one is a very, very simple calendar that we've used before on MX Linux. Let me get this off my taskbar. We've used before in MX Linux, and it's called gSimpleCal. One word, and I'm going to install that. I'm going to use the terminal. I'm going to say sudo apt install gsimple, hit tab, gSimpleCal, and type in my password. Now here, as you can see, I've already installed that, but that's how you would do it, and it would install that package. Let me clear that out of the way there. The one question that's interesting is that there is not any kind of a configuration file for gSimpleCal, but if we go to the man file and scroll down to configuration, you can see it says a configuration file is searched, and we'll put it in config.config gSimpleCal config, and then here is the file, so that you can just copy this and paste it in to create that file. Now I've already done that, so let's just take a quick look at what that looks like, and maybe we want to make there's our config file. There's gSimpleCal. There's the config file. And here it is. And we can take a look at that and change things as we want. There are a couple of that I think are kind of important. We might just for fun change this clock label down here to not tell me what time it is. I'm going to say, tell me it's MX-Fluxbox, just for the hay of it. And then we might want to put a position on it, so I'm going to change this main window position to center. And it won't, main window decorated means will it have this top thing, and the 0 means false, so it won't be. So I think that looks pretty good to me. We could change the other things, but let's go with that. I'll save it. And so it's nice because now we have a config file. We can come back to it when we want it. So now I'm going to type in, go back to my F2 again, gsimple cal. I hit tab, and there it is. Oh, Alt, I have to move it. And there it is. You can see that it says it's a nice little calendar. MX-Fluxbox got typed in correctly. There's the date and the time. You might, for instance, just make this a little simpler by deleting the date, since you've got the date in front of your eyeballs. But that's how you would deal with it. Escape gets rid of it. So now we have gSimpleCal. We could also, what we're going to do, we could do with Orage as well, but I'm going to use gSimpleCal because it lets me go through a few other things that are kind of interesting. So for instance, how do I want to have access to it? One quick way is to create a key. So I'm going to right click, go to settings, configure, and create a keystroke for it. And here's that. Maybe I already did it. No, okay, so I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and I'm going to say, just the way they do, I'm going to put a little sign, don't pay attention to this, and I'm going to say launch gSimpleCal, and then we have to follow the pattern up above here. So mod 1 is Alt, MOD 1, and I'm just going to put, calendar starts with C, so I can just going to put a C so I can remember, and then a colon, and then we want an exec and gSimpleCal. Mod 1 C, exec, gSimpleCal. I'm going to save that and close this and refresh the desktop. And now let's see what happens when I go Alt-C. Ta-da! Right in the center. And it's a toggle, so if I hit it again, it goes out. So that key file, if you've not explored it, there's a lot of stuff that's in it. It's really very powerful. But now we have a simple way to have access to it. What about a dock? What about the dock? Can we do something with the dock? We can, and it'll be kind of interesting. You remember the dock maker, we have to use dock maker, so appearance, docs, dock maker. We're going to edit the existing dock right there. And I'm going to scroll down to the end. Well, I'll just put it at the beginning just for fun. And I go all the way down to the end. Click, click, click. Here I go. End, 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 end. And now I'm going to add an application. And usually we use a desktop file because it's nice and easy. So let's go see if there is one. I'll just begin to type gsimple, and there is no desktop file. So we have to cancel that. We can't use that. What we can use is the command. And we haven't done this before, so this is a good way to find out how to do that. I'm going to put my command in, gSimpleCal, and then I'm going to select an icon, and it takes us to this Mocha set. And we usually use 48 by 48, and it's an app. And now I'm going to go gSimpleCal, and it's not there. So there is no icon in this set for gSimpleCal. Now there's a couple of ways to take care of that. One is to switch icon sets. I know, for instance, in the MX Linux default set, there is one, Papyrus, but I'm just going to type in calendar and see if anything comes up. Oh, look at that, calendar.ping. So I'm going to just use that. And there it is right there. And now I can just save my application. Put it in the same place it was before. I want to overwrite that file. And I say OK. And there it is right there. I made a mistake. I forgot to make the frame in black, but I can go back and do that. I had that option and I just passed over it. So that's how we would add that to a doc. And we use a command which we've not used before. I'm going to get the doc out of my face. I usually do that, toggle auto hide doc. I usually do that with this desktop because I think the wallpaper is so pretty. We could also make an icon, of course, for gSimpleCal. We've already shown how to do that, and you'd have to how to create icons before. So I'm going to hide those and get them out of my face too. Hide the icons. By the way, do you see now we have two toggles here? One is to toggle iDesk, and the other is to toggle the icons. And the reason we do that is so that you can rotate wallpapers even if you're not showing icons. So I'm gonna hide the icons and get them out of my face too. All right, what else can we do? Well, here's a neat thing because we don't otherwise use it. Let's take a look at the monitors. These are these monitors, and they come in different skins, and I don't normally use them very much, but I've discovered that we can, if we right-click this, we can get into the configuration. If I go to the clock, and I look at my options and I look at setup, I notice that there is a launch command, a calendar command for the clock. So I'm thinking I'm going to say, I'm sorry, for the either clock or calendar, I'm going to put it on the clock, gSimpleCal. And let's see if oops, got to spell it right. gSimpleCal. I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to see if that's right. Oh, I didn't refresh yet. So I guess I need to put it in the other place, go to my clock, setup, and put it on the calendar command. You know, I don't know this stuff. I just crash around until it works. Let's try that. Yeah, there we go. So we click on the clock and up pops the calendar. I can hit escape to get rid of it. Now, I don't use any of the lower stuff. So what I have done is to remove. You can go configure. I'm not going to do it now, but you can remove all of these things. There is a plugin for weather, and I had this reduced just to the clock and the time and the weather. So you have a little tiny monitor set that will show you a clock, and you can click it and actually produce then a calendar to look at. So we've got that. Ta-da! It's pretty neat. Oh, it's also toggle, so kind of cool. Get the monitor out of my face. Okay. Finally, I think now that I've done this much, if I'm going to have a calendar, I can up in the taskbar, the toolbar, I can remove that data. I keep trying to simplify this toolbar because I don't like looking at everything. So I can just take the date out, since anytime I need to check, I can just go Alt-C, or I can do one of my 3 ways to do it. So there we go. It's just a short lesson on how to get a calendar, how to use the doc maker when you don't have a desktop file, and one way to use those monitors that we normally don't spend much time on. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you will like the series. A couple of weeks I'll come up with TNT number 2.